We're starting a new devotion series in the book of Proverbs. And now Proverbs is a book of wisdom, wise sayings. Now, we tend to think of it like a collection of short sayings that guide us in the practical matters of life, containing phrases like a stitch in time saves nine, early to bed, early to rise, make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Now, those are not in the book of Proverbs, but we tend to think of Proverbs containing sayings like that. And it's true that Proverbs do have those kinds of pithy, wise sayings, but it's so much more than that. In its totality, it is imparting something deeply profound. Now, Christians, those of us that tend to be concerned with piety, we can focus on laws and commandments and disciplines, and those certainly are good. And in the law, we see the righteousness of the Lord. But in the wisdom literature, Psalms, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Job, and certainly Proverbs, we see the moment-by-moment living life in a fallen world and the need to live that life in step with the Spirit of God, in this endless improvisation, taking in the righteousness of God and his wisdom and trying to incarnate that so that when we're confronted with the unexpected things of life, we can respond appropriately. And in Proverbs, we see not only how to live, but that in living in accordance with wisdom, it gives life. Now, we'll start our exploration by looking at Proverbs as the book of life and seeing that wisdom is itself life. I'm going to read something from Proverbs chapter 9, just one verse, and then a larger section from the third chapter of Proverbs. Proverbs 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight. In Proverbs 3, beginning in verse 13, blessed is the one who finds wisdom and the one who gets understanding, for the gain from her is better than gain from silver, and her profit better than gold. She is more precious than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand, and in her left are riches and honor. Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who lay hold of her. To those who hold her fast are called blessed. The Lord by wisdom founded the earth. By understanding he established the heavens. By his knowledge the deeps broke open, and the clouds dropped dew down below. My son, do not lose sight of these. Keep sound wisdom and discretion. They will be life for your soul and an adornment for your neck. When I was 21 years old, I knew everything. I knew more then than I seem to now. I was certain of all that I thought. I was absolutely confident that I knew what I needed to know. And then my father died, and I just felt cut adrift. Very uncertain of everything. It often happens when you have a shocking loss that way. But over time, I found my footing again, got more secure. I was maybe a little more humble. I realized I didn't know everything, although I thought that I knew almost everything, and certainly everything I needed to know. And then I had a mentor betray me. I felt cut adrift again, disillusioned, unsure of the world around me. I found my footing again. Then another tragedy, and this sort of cycle of getting back up on my feet. And I began to discover I really didn't know everything. And I didn't even know the things I didn't know. I began to discover the truth that it's contained in one of the songs of my favorite songwriter, Bono, in U2. In his song, The City of Blinding Lights, he wrote, "The more you see, the less you know, the less you find out as you go. I knew much more then than I do now." Albert Einstein put it another way. As our circle of knowledge expands, it's bigger, so does the circumference of darkness surrounding it. What we know is inside the circle, and the more we know, the bigger the circle gets, but so does the circumference of the circle, and that circumference is our interaction with the things we don't know, the darkness out there. The more we know, the more we become aware of what we don't know. And there's a forced humility in this. Now, would we call that wisdom? Well, it's a part of wisdom, but if that's all wisdom is, then wisdom is becoming more and more uncertain of everything, and there's an insecurity in that, and maybe even a profound cynicism. Alone, this doesn't give life. This robs us of life. No, wisdom, while it certainly entails the humility I've described, it also enlightens us of bigger truths bigger than our insecurities, bigger than our ignorances. Truth that imparts courage and hope and life. Wisdom begins, as it says in Proverbs chapter 9, begins with acknowledging the Lord. That while I don't know everything, there is someone who does. The Lord helps bring certainty to our core convictions. It brings hope to our lives. Even if we don't know the answers, we are connected to one who does. And more than that, someone who loves us. And in this sense, wisdom gives life. And maybe you could even say wisdom is life. As we explore Proverbs and understand better what it is that wisdom imparts to us and how it imparts a life and courage and hope in us, I hope you'll join us for this series. And in the meantime, just know that though you don't know everything, there is one who loves you, who does. Trust him. Blessings on you all.